Hi, everybody. So I made sure that, my computer's working fine. Last week, the issue was my computer was really slow. It needed to be rebooted. And that's why last week it didn't work. So I'm really hoping that tonight there's going to be no issues. I hope.
Yeah, when in doubt, just turn it off and on again.
Right. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm excited for tonight. This is going to be a lot of information, so just get ready. But there'll be also a lot of review, so I think it'll be good. So we're on lesson 5. I can't believe we made it this far. Thank you to all those of you who've really been here every week after week. It's great to see all of you. And I'm hoping that this has been helping you, whether it's with your child or a student, if you're a teacher, but I'm really hoping that you're getting something out of the classes. So today's agenda, we're going to actually walk through the whole Orton Gillingham lesson plan. There's 5 components, and I'm going to go through all of them now. 3 of them you've already experienced through all of my previous lessons. So I'm going to try to tie everything together today, basically. So we're going to review drills, the memory method, rules, and then I introduce you to the 4th and the 5th component, which is the reading and the writing. So this is what a lesson plan would look like. There are 5 main components. There's the drills section. Then you move on to the sight word memory method. Next, we have the new rule or the review lesson section. Then there's reading and then writing. This whole lesson should take around 50 minutes, give or take. Ideally, you would actually do all 5 parts at one time. However, some of our kids won't be able to sit for this long, so it's okay to split it up. Studies say that in order to see a lot of progress, you should be working with the same student minimum of twice a week, going through this entire lesson plan. The more, the better. But from what I was told, 1 lesson a week is really not enough. Sophie, this is the phonemic awareness. So I'm going to start off at the very beginning just to give you some reminders, but I've actually included some new different videos. The very first component, right, are the drills. This is the phonemic awareness drills section. So again, we went through all this a while ago using mini blocks or any type of manipulative. You can segment, blend, isolate, delete, and substitute. My lesson 1, I believe, covers all this information. Here's a video of Zevi practicing the phonemic awareness drill. Next video using blocks. I'm going to say a word, you're going to repeat the word, and then pull down all the sounds you hear.
Okay.
Plant. Repeat it.
Plant.
Good job. Good. Which letter says P? Tap. Good. Which one says tricky one? Plant. Plant.
Over here.
That says and
Here.
good. Which one says
Here.
Excellent. I want you to take away the ooh sound. Now what does it say?
Plant. Pat.
You took away the ooh.
Pat.
What did you say?
Pat.
Close.
Pat.
You had plant and you took away the ooh. What's left?
Pat.
Excellent. Pant. Put the ooh back where it belongs. And now what does it say?
Plant.
Good. I want you to take away the t. Take it away. What's it say? Plan. Good. Okay, now careful. Listen, I want you to take away the and make an What's it say?
Plun.
Good. Plun. I want you to take away the p. What's left now? Try again.
Plun.
Take away the p. So what's left? You took away the p. What's left? So we took away the p, and now it's just ooh, n.
Plun.
No, we took away the p. Run. Good. So as you see, he was making errors, but it was, we were doing a lot of skills within one. We practiced segmenting, isolating, deleting, and substituting. And there was 2 blends, right? The pull at the beginning and the nt at the end. And blends are still tricky for him. So this was challenging for him, but he stayed calm and he worked through it. And when he made a few errors in a row, I just modeled it for him and then had him repeat it. If you notice also, he was looking at different color blocks because he knows that you have to use a different color for every sound you hear. And if there's the same sound, you use the same color. That's kind of why he was looking through all of the colors. At the very bottom of this, I don't think you could see it, but I wrote 5 minutes. So this drill should take 5 minutes, give or take. Then you move on to the visual or letter drill. This is still part of the first component. You've seen letter or visual drills where I hold a letter and they just make the name and the sounds. This we're doing a little differently, just on the magnetic board. And he's working on beginning blends, ending blends, and the bossy R. Debbie, this is the visual drill. First, you're going to read beginning consonant blends. Then you're going to read ending consonant blends, and then the bossy R.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Try again. Good. Yeah. My other son's helping. He's like Vanna White. Try it again. Good, let's stop there and go on to the ending blends. Try that one again. Oob. Try that one again. There's no vowel in there. Yeah, old. Good. Good. Try one again. Good. Excellent. And now. Oh, what's the last one? Good. Excellent. Good job. I think. Visual drill. You can do it in many different ways. I try to switch it up a little bit so they don't get bored of the same method every single time. And as you can see, he's still making errors, right? That's why I like I could model it myself, or I can, but I think it's nice when you see a child that's actually working on these skills and making those errors and working through it. This drill should take 3 to 5 minutes. And then next, the auditory drill, right? These are all drills we've reviewed. I'm just kind of going back. So this is Shua. He's doing the auditory drill using salt in a tray. Now, tip, if you use sugar, they will eat it. If you use salt, they will not. I'm gonna make a sound, and I want you to repeat the sound and draw the letter. You ready? Repeat after me. Make the sound. What sound is that? What letter makes that sound?
C.
Can you write it for me? And now underline it and say C.
C.
Good job. Shake it off. Okay. Next sound. Ready? Repeat the sound. What letter?
S.
Good job. Can you write it for me?
Yeah.
Can't see it. Oh, good job. Underline it and say S.
S.
Good job. Shake it. Ready? Next sound. Listen carefully. Make the sound.
H.
Good job. Write it for me. And underline it and say H.
H.
Good job. One more. Ready?
Yeah.
Repeat after me. Ah.
Apple.
Yeah, and what letter is that?
A.
Shua is in junior kindergarten, so he's still using capital letters. And underline it.
A.
Amazing. Good job. I was actually impressed with Shua doing this because he's not the most compliant. So the fact that he actually was, following instructions and having a good time with it was great. So again, this was the auditory drill. So now I've just showed you 3 parts. Actually, no, there's one more part to the first section. This is called the short vowel drill. Okay, Zevi? We don't need to go through this again, but everyone remember the short vowel drill? This is the drill that will really help your child learn how to remember all the short vowel sounds. A lot of children confuse the E and the I, or the A and the U, or the I and the E, and this really helps solidify the short vowel sounds. So I just want to go, let me go back for a second. So what I just showed you now was the first section, drills. Altogether, the drills portion should take you around 15 minutes, even potentially less. If your child knows their short vowels, you do not need to do the short vowel drill, right? And then you just do the phonemic awareness drill, the visual drill, and the auditory drill. So next, we're going to move on to the sight word memory method. So we're going to practice the sight word memory method. The sight word memory method is our way of teaching kids how to memorize sight words, words that are irregular, words that they cannot learn how to sound out or decode. I'm going to show you this word again, okay, is a hard word to spell for many kids. Zevi's working on it. So I just wanted to show you, I'll show you a quick video again. Method to help you remember how to spell the word again. Okay, first step, go ahead.
A-G-A-I-N. Again. A-G-A-I-N. Again. A-G-A-I-N. Again.
Good. Now you're going to trace it. Same thing. But no, flip this pencil. Flip the pencil. You're pretending to trace it.
A-G-A.
I'm just going to fast forward.
Again.
Great. Now I want you to trace it on the table with 2 fingers. Those 2 fingers. I'm going to flip it over so you don't have to see it. Practice with your 2 fingers. Put the pencil down with the 2 fingers.
A-G-A-I-N.
And underline it. Underline it and say again.
Again.
Again. Do it again.
A.
Yeah. Start.
A.
Yeah.
G-A-I-N. Again. A-G-A-I-N. Again.
One more time.
A-G-A-I-N. Again.
Great. And I want you to write the word on a piece of paper. You can write it. You can write it back there. At the very top. Write the word again.
G-A-I-N. Again.
Amazing. This was his 3rd time practicing the word again, and he so far got it right once and wrong twice. So he has 1 check mark on his card. He needs 5 check marks for it to be considered mastered. This drill should take 5 minutes. Often you'll be working on 2 to 3 words at a time. And if you want to just work on 1, that's also fine. I want you to sort between. So that we've now covered 2 parts of the lesson, right? We did the drills, and then we did the sight word memory method. Now we are on the 3rd component, and this is where you introduce a new rule, or you're going to review a previously taught rule. Rules such as, what a syllable is, what a closed syllable is, adding a suffix. Those are the rules. This is reviewing what the difference between a closed syllable and an open syllable.
and closed syllables and open syllables. He already knows the difference between a closed syllable and an open syllable. So I'm going to give you a word. I want you to read it.
No.
Now, is that open or closed?
Open.
And why do you know it's open?
Because there's no consonant after the vowel.
Great. Next one.
Caught.
Mhm.
It's closed because there's a vowel. There's a consonant after the vowel.
Good. Go this one.
Fee. There's no consonant.
Good. And I want you to start placing these by yourself. Yeah.
Leg. We. Bad. They. We.
I'm using real and nonsense words here.
Sly. Cat.
Oh.
K.
Good.
I. Bag. Me. Beck. Dash.
Excellent.
So I haven't really spoken to you about what an open syllable is. There's 7 syllable types, and next week I'm actually going to review all 7 syllable types. I've been really focusing on closed syllables because that's where all students and children should start. After you kids master what a closed syllable is and it goes through the whole progression, then the next syllable type is open. Now we're in the 4th component of the lesson plan, and this is the reading component. In the reading component, there's 4 parts: blending, words, sentences, and text. This is the reading component, so each part has to do with the reading.
Zeddy, I'd like you to read.
So in blending, so now we're kind of in a new section here, so I'm going to stop and kind of explain things more. When you want to use letter cards or magnets or magnetic letters and have the children practice blending the words, right? Blending the letters. It's not just auditory now, it's with the letters together. They want to read them. Usually it would include 4 to 6 words, real and nonsense. And the word should be related to what your current rule is. So for example, with Zevi, I'm working on consonant, beginning consonants, ending consonants, and the bossy R syllable type. So that's why he's practicing blending these words.
These words for me. Start over here.
Look. Yolk.
Great. Is that a real word?
No.
It's a nonsense word.
Pin.
Excellent.
As. Snaz. Chop.
Good. I'm going to add something to the end of that next one. Last word, read that word.
Ash. Trash.
Excellent. Oh,
So something I'm sure, I don't know if you picked up, but he's not fluent yet. He's not fluent at his blends. He's still looking at blends and saying p-er or k-ul, right? I want him to be at a point where he sees a consonant blend and he just blends it automatically and fluently. He's no longer splitting up the 2 consonants. So I can tell that he still needs more practice.
what happened? I took the H out. What does that word say now?
Oh.
Good. Something I noticed that when you're looking at a blend, I want you to blend them together. So you say tur.
Ash.
Excellent.
Trash.
Right.
So that's the first component, blending. 2 minutes it should take.
Gab's word.
Next, we go on to the reading. Oh, sorry, this is another example of blending, but this Gab is blending different syllable types. This will be interesting for most of you. I haven't really gone into syllable types, but I explained it a little bit in the video.
Working on blending syllables. He's blending syllables to create words, and there's going to be open syllables, closed syllables, and magic E syllables.
V. To. Toe. Veto.
Veto, yeah, to veto something.
Tie. D. Tidy.
Good. What syllable type is this?
Open.
And what's this one?
Open.
Right. They're both open.
Rep. Tile. Tile.
Good. What syllable type is that?
Closed.
Which one's this?
Magic E.
Excellent.
Pyre. S. Aspire.
Good. What syllable is this?
Open. Oh no, closed. Magic E.
Good. Let's do one more.
Side. In. Inside.
Good.
So eventually blending looks like this. Once they've mastered, blending individual letters in, let's say, the closed syllable progression, and then you move on to the open syllable and then the magic E syllable, then they can actually blend syllable types together. And this really helps kids break down words when they're reading. So when they become experts at this, when they're reading a book, they will actually see the syllable types within words. Or if they read it wrong, they'll realize that they're splitting it in the wrong place, and then they'll self-correct. So this is a really, really important skill. Once they've learned all 7 syllable types, essentially they will be able to read any single word in the English language.
Xavier, remember
Once you finish the blending section, now you're on the reading word section. You could write the words on paper, or you could write it on a whiteboard, however you'd like. And again, the words should be related to the rule you're currently working on and reviewing previously taught rules.
we spoke about the bossy R rule
Yeah.
and how the bossy R, the sounds it makes. Let's see. I'd like you to read these 5 words for me. Yeah, sorry.
R. Scar. Slur.
Good.
Chirp. Chirp. Swarm. Sure.
Great. Which one is a nonsense word? Which is not real?
This.
Slurred.
And this.
So what does that say again?
Swarm.
Good. And what else is nonsense? Sure. Yeah, that's not spelled like the way you're supposed to spell sure. Good job.
So that's just simple reading. And again, always incorporate whatever it is that you're teaching at the time. Shouldn't take longer than 2 minutes. Now we're reading sentences. And I believe I shared with you, this is Spire Workbook 3.
Zebby's going to read a passage from Spire Notebook 3. Zebby, I want you to read this very first sentence over here.
Dad says that you may
Try that one again.
stay and play.
Could you read that one more time, more fluently?
Dad says that you may stay and play.
Excellent. Just to explain, right now he's working on the AY sound. So inspire, it's going to reinforce it. Good. I'd like you to read the sentence, this one down here.
Girl,
Oh, try that one again.
girl,
Oh, it's a magic E word.
Gail, Gail, Gail told Tom that she did not want to go to the store.
Good. Read it one more time.
Gail told Tom that she did not want to go to the store.
Good. Right now he's still pointing, but soon we'll move away from pointing to word by word.
So considering Zevy's in grade 2, I hope he doesn't watch this video until he's much older, but you can see he's definitely not reading at a grade 2 level. I mean, and he has missed a lot of SK and a lot of grade 1. And I also do suspect there's other learning challenges happening here, but he's doing so well with his program. The reading sentences component should take 2 minutes, just 2 sentences, that's it. So again, in reading, we're reading by blending, then we read individual words. Here we're reading sentences, and then the next we're gonna be reading a passage or a text.
So is that
I like Spire because it really does follow the progression, the scope and sequence, and it goes rule by rule, and it's very controlled. So I wrote here, use Spire or other types of decodable books. PM leveled readers are definitely not ideal. Some schools only use PM levels, and if that's the case, and they send them home, okay, but it's very much sight word based. It's not, kids have a hard time decoding them, and they're going to use context clues again, and look at the picture and try to guess the word. You want the student to read, you could have them read half of a book because sometimes a whole book is too long. And I'd also continue reading the same passage a few lessons in a row, unless they're extremely fluent. So this is Zevi reading a passage.
you're going to read this passage and always start with the title.
A camp in the hills. I will tell you of a time when Dad and I went to camp and fish wet.
Oh, make sure you stop at the period.
And fish. We went up flat rock hill. It was a long hike. At last we came to a stop. A spot to pitch the tent. It was busy.
So what does that first word say? The open syllable. What does that say?
Be
Good. And what does that say?
side
Good.
beside a lake.
A what?
Beside a lake.
Good. Okay, I want you to stop there. I want you to read this one more time from the beginning. This time don't point, just read with your eyes.
I will tell you of a time when Dad and I went to camp and fish. We went up flat rock hill. It was a long hike. At last we came to a stop.
Try that word again.
A spot to pitch the tent. It was beside a lake.
Good. What happens so far in the story? Can you tell me?
The dad and him went camping, but they looked for a pitch plate for their tent and they got it.
What were they doing when they found the right spot?
They were hiking,
And then once they found the right spot, what were they about to do?
pitching the tent.
Right? Pitch the tent. Excellent.
So I had him reread that same little part. If I wasn't just recording it, I would have had him read the whole entire passage, and I would have had him read it twice. And then the next day, he's not fluent, I'd have him read it again. And then the next day, I'd probably have him read it again until he really reads it fluently. And he will. If he reads the same passage 3 times, by the third read, it actually sounds nice and fluent. This reading a passage is going to take you a little while. It could take 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes even. Now we're on the last component, the writing. So the writing component is similar to the reading. There's 4 parts. There's spelling by tapping. Then they're going to spell with letters or magnets. Then they're going to write words and then write sentences. This is usually the most frustrating part for most students because writing is usually the most challenging skill.
Hi, Betty.
Hi.
We're going to practice.
So this is the first component where you provide 3 to 5, 6 words, real and nonsense, and they're going to practice reading them, or sorry, spelling them by tapping their fingers.
Spelling using finger tapping.
Okay.
I'm going to say a word. You're going to repeat the word and spell it with your fingers.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Plan. Repeat it.
Plan.
Plan. Amazing. Next word. Bat.
Bat. Bat.
Great. Flip.
Flip.
Good. Chunk. Try that one again. That says chuck. I said chunk. Try that one more time. So I'm going to show you now. Ready? Watch this. Chunk. Good job. Shop.
Shop.
Next one. Script. Say it.
Script. Script.
Try it one more time.
Script.
Close. The last two sounds you put together. Listen carefully to me. Let's do it together with your fingers. Ready? Good. Now do it all by yourself. Script. Try one last time. Script. Amazing. Script.
I was pushing my luck there. He may have gotten angry if I asked him any more times, but he persevered through that. That's a consonant blend with 3 consonants, the skr. So that was kind of throwing him off. But he needs lots of practice. This section should take around 2 minutes. And now he's going to spell using magnetic letters. So he doesn't actually have to write them yet. He's just using magnetic letters and spelling them.
I'm going to say a word and I want you to spell it using those magnetic letters. Ready? The first word I want you to write is snob. Repeat it.
Snob.
Oh, that's not the. Where's the book? That's a p. Good job. What does that say?
Snob.
Excellent. Put it back. Next word I want you to write is star. As you can see, I'm including consonant blends. I'm also trying to include the bossy R since we're working on that. Star.
You see how it's taking him a long time to actually scan and find the
Come on, put it
letters?
back.
It shouldn't take him that long.
Next word, it's a nonsense word. Floored. I would say floor, but actually, I think this one's upside down. What did it say? Try it again. It's not a book. Good. Last.
So this is spelling using magnetic letters. You can also use little visual letter cards. You can really use whatever you'd like, but they're not actually formulating the letters with a pencil just yet.
I'm gonna give you a word, or I'm gonna say a word, and I want you to write.
So now we're on the actual writing component where he's going to write words. They can be this almost the same words as you used in the previous drill, where you were having him write words using magnetic letters, or you can use different words, but it's essentially the same skill, but now it's that much more challenging because you actually have to write the letters.
The word.
Okay.
Ready? First word is clort.
Court.
Clort.
Clue. Or.
Clort.
Court.
Excellent. Good job. Erase. I haven't taught him that the K and the L don't go together and that it's the CL. So that's approved. That's acceptable. Next word. Smug.
Smooth. Smug.
Excellent. Erase. Fresh.
Fresh.
Excellent. Good job. Next word. Sharp. Like, ouch, that's sharp. That says sarp. I said sharp. Can you try again? Sharp. Excellent. Good job.
So now we're on the writing sentences component.
Say a sentence. I want you to repeat the sentence and then write it. First sentence. I see a fat cat. Actually, I want you to write in between the yellow.
I see
Next sentence. Mom fed the dog. Mom fed the dog.
Mom fed the
Notice he keeps checking his B's and D's with his hands.
mom fed the dog.
Excellent.
In this component, I probably should have included more of the bossy R words and blends and digraphs. However, I just wanted to get this video for this lesson. So that's kind of why I kept it simple for him. So finally, at the end, when you're actually having them write sentences, you want them to learn how to edit their work. So there's something called Chops, which is a great editing tool. And kids very quickly remember it and can implement it independently. So the C stands for capital. The H stands for handwriting, like is it neat? The O means out loud, so that you want them to read it out loud, making sure it makes sense. The P is for punctuation, and the S is for spelling. So I'm going to show you now, after Zebby wrote those sentences, he's going to use Chops to edit his work.
say a sentence. I want you to repeat the sentence and then write it.
Oh, that's weird. One second.
First sentence. I like
Oh,
cat.
uh-oh. I think it's the wrong video. Oh, I don't have the right video of chops here.
Mom fed the dog.
excellent.
So I don't have the correct video. I must have put the same one in twice. But he went back and he did chops and he corrected the capital here for M. He put periods at the end of each sentence. He read it out loud and he made check marks for each part, the C, the H, the O, the P, and the S. And he actually enjoys it because then he can correct himself. My older son uses it. He writes, paragraphs and he uses chops and it's really great. So you can really use it at it for any age. Okay, so that's the lesson plan. That's the 5-part lesson plan. I'm going to go back to the very beginning. Just to show you the 5 parts again. Some of you missed the beginning. Many of you joined halfway through. So once you kind of have the gist of how to implement all these drills and skills, then I was introducing the 5-part lesson. And this is ideally what you do with your child, minimum twice a week. You want to go through the drills component, then the sight word study method. Then you're going to either introduce a new rule or review an older rule. Then you're going to work on reading, and then you're going to work on writing. So today we kind of reviewed these first 3 components. And then today we focus mostly on the reading and the writing. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask or any concerns?
Could you please send us a list of rules or the rules that they have to learn? Because I don't think we
So
could
there's
cover
like
it.
200.
Mhm.
I do have, so next week I'm actually going to go through the 7 syllable types. Okay. And because within each syllable type, there's many rules. The closed syllable progression is the longest and has the most amount of rules. The other 6 have less, but they still do have rules. So there's a ton. I could definitely share with you some, and I could share with you the beginning. And once we go through the syllable types, you'll have a better idea. Next week, I'm also going to share with you specific spelling rules that are going to blow your mind. I'm very excited about it. When I learned these, I thought, oh my gosh, how did I not know this? I'm sure you'll all feel the same way. And I'll definitely share whatever I'm working on with you here. I will definitely share with you.
Thank you. That would be great.
You're welcome.
Hi, Lisa, quick question for you. If the kids, if I'm having the kids having a hard time with spelling words that they theoretically could sound out with phonemic awareness, but there's, how you showed us how to do the sight words or the words that they can't. Can we use the same way that that you were showing us how to teach them their sight words like the and words that they can't sound out? Can you use the same way? Or is that not a good idea? I just find that.
Yeah, so ideally, you only use the sight word memory method for words like the, again, said, the words that they are irregular. But definitely sometimes when you're coming across high frequency words that they're going to read in books all the time and they cannot remember, or words that they spell all the time, you can use the sight word memory method for those words as well.
Well, that's why I wanted to know whether it's okay to use it like that, or if it's counterproductive because then you're not actually sounding them out, using the phonics, so to speak.
Right.
But,
so I would definitely not focus so much on those words, but if the word, for example, the word C, okay, you haven't taught them the vowel digraph rule yet, but you want them to remember that word because it's in a lot of books, then just you can do the sight word.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'm glad that at least today's lesson, didn't have any technical errors. I think it's my first, so go me.
Lisa, you're becoming an expert, and your camera's not as fuzzy as it usually is. So I'm very.
I gave it a good cleaning, and I don't have any filter on. So.
Okay.
Yeah, this is.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see it.
So are there any other questions or should we say goodbye? We have one more lesson next week. It's going to be a great one. After my 6 sessions, I'm going to continue to post videos and rules and tips and strategies on my Literacy Decoded Facebook page. But I'm going to eventually have, I'm in the midst of creating a Literacy Decoded website, and we'll be offering courses through the website. You might want to mute yourself.
Sorry.
In the meantime, all my videos are posted on YouTube under Literacy Decoded, so you can always go back and rewatch them. I would love feedback from all of you. You know, what you liked about these lessons, what you feel like I could improve on. I'm very open and actually would love your feedback. I was thinking that for my course that I'm in the midst of developing, I'm gonna create videos that are much shorter with individual skills. So this way people can rewatch it and it might be like 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm gonna definitely make my videos better. I will plan them better. These videos are very much last minute, but I think that I'll need to get like a professional mic, better lighting, better backgrounds. So this was what I'm doing now is, you know, sharing knowledge with all of you, but also it's kind of like my rough draft to hopefully something bigger and better down the road. And I have so like, we've only touched upon a few rules, right? We've only, like, this is, I think I've covered maybe 5 or 10% maybe of the Orton Gillingham approach of the 7-syllable progression. There's so much to learn, so much to know. And it's really, really, it's endless. Amazing. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. I look forward to seeing all of you next week. And again, I would love feedback. So feel free to email me or, you know, private message me on Facebook or anywhere. And please spread the word if you have any friends or kids, you know, that are struggling, you know, share my page, show them my videos. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks, Lisa.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.